What's going on, guys? NottiMoto here, your number one for all things moto. Today I have in front of me Arai's Corsair X. In this video, we're gonna go into its features, take a look at its performance, and then of course at the end we'll wrap it up with a Notti No or a Notti Go seal of approval. Y'all stay with me. Now folks, this Corsair X is going to be for your sport bike riders, your more experienced riders, coming in at that $849.95 to $859.95 price point depending on size. If we go ahead and take a look, if I flip this helmet just sideways, you can absolutely see this defined tuck to the helmet with an integrated spoiler at the rear. Now folks, really nice. This helmet does come stock with that brand new Snell M 2020 rating, really nice for track riders. Now, starting with the outside of the lid, as always, folks, I'm just going to flip this to the side. You can definitely see it has sort of an aggressive tuck with an integrated spoiler at the rear. And something that Arai did, which is really nice, they actually beef up the brow right in front here with added fibrous material, which allows a little bit more of an aggressive tuck, moving that field of vision up a little bit, allowing you to lower your head while still retaining a lot of that really great safety at the brow, which is a very high impact point. Now folks, let's take a look at its ventilation package. We have 3 vents up top. You've got 2 crowns, 1 brow. Now really nice, they are tri-position vents. So you get a full open, you get a full close, and you get an intermediary position there as well. Now coming down to the chin, we also have the same tri package as well, those tri settings. And then really nice at the face shield, you notice these 2 very large structures here. Arai is actually the only helmet in existence that actively cools the back of your head while riding. You have some really nice air channel ports that port that air right to the back of your head. Now folks, moving to the rear of the helmet, I want to show you its exhaust package. We have 2 really nice active exhaust switches right here with an intermediary position. And then moving on down to the bottom, we have 2 passive exhaust vents. Really nice ventilation package coming in this Corsair X, guys. Now folks, rotating the helmet back to the front, I want to talk about the face shield. This is Arai's VAS system face shield. That is a variable axis pivot system mechanic. And that mechanism is actually right behind this pod here. If I go ahead, flip this shield on up real quick, press this quick little switch, that pod's gonna pop right on off, and there is your dual pivot axis system right there. Now folks, what does this do for the rider? Believe it or not, the ability to have a dual axis pivot system brings that pivot point down further on that helmet while still retaining the same mobility as we all know and love from Arai. But get this, when we lower that pivot system, we actually create a larger curved smooth surface at the top, which increases glance off and skipping protection. So incredible focus coming from Arai down to the very, very intimate details. You also, of course, have a MotoGP approved face shield that is incredibly robust and optically correct, and of course that pin lock is going to be stock in the box for you. Now folks, moving into the shell, again, this is the Arai difference, guys. We have handmade over 20 sheets of materials. Only 15 individuals are allowed to make this. It's actually called a super fiber, and that was developed by Hirotaki Arai. It is up to 6 times more expensive than the competitors, just due to the actual performance of the fibers and quality invested in the mechanics in making them. And folks, what we have here is the R75 spherical / oval shape with a continual curve radius of 75 millimeters all around the lid, which actually mitigates rotational energy. And Arai likes to call that more the mitigation of rotational energy. With this shell, guys, you actually have no sharp angles. All of these ventilation ports and anything sticking off of the helmet is actually stuck on with a 3M tear off. So really nice. And what that means to you, I'll show you a demonstration real quick. Let's pretend we're in some sort of slide scenario. Here's a bump, crack, curb in the road. I'm sliding this way. Well, notice this spoiler is about to interact with this device right here, whatever this obstruction is. With the R75 spherical shape, that will roll, snap that spoiler right on off, and again, clear that obstacle without causing too much excessive force to your head and spine. Now, within this shell, we also have higher abrasion resistance coming from the super fiber, and they add even more materials to help that a little bit further. There's a material called Xylon in here that increases abrasion resistance tremendously and also adds a lot of tensile strength. There are also a plasticized chicken wire fence material in here. Think of metal bands holding a wooden barrel together. It keeps the shell in one piece and again adds a lot of tensile strength. Now there's also a beautiful material in here called AR Matte, and that is actually sandwiched in between two layers of fiber that is again hand laid in the mold. And what this actually does is give the required thickness to pass testing standards while keeping weight down. Of course, Arai could do the absolute same thing by adding more fiberglass, but again, that's gonna bring that weight way up and unfortunately lessen the length of your ride time. And we even see, again, going back to that Xylon layer, there's almost dual purposes for almost everything in an Arai. Believe it or not, that Xylon layer actually lowers that center of gravity, so making this helmet, even though it is kind of on the more robust side in terms of weight, it actually makes the helmet feel a lot lighter than it actually is on your head, which is really nice. Again, really nice attention to detail coming from Arai. Now folks, entering the inside of the lid, first I want to talk to you about what we see immediately, this really nice neck roll. This is actually Arai's hyper ridge construction. Think of a bumper in a car. This shell can actually be detrimental to your collarbone and your skin in a crash, so we utilize this really nice protection here to add force dampening characteristics, and it also aids in keeping the shell in one piece in the event of a collision. Now onto the pads, folks, and keep in mind all of these Arais are handmade, so please be careful when you're going inside. Don't pull too hard. Do it with a purpose, but also do it like you mean it and you know what you're doing. So I'm just going to remove this pad real quick here for you. It is attached to that neck roll. Just go ahead and pull that on out. It'll snap out pretty easily, but just pay attention, okay? I've done this many times, so I know kind of what to expect. And that's on out. So again, we see that really nice neck roll here. That's gonna aid in trapping a lot of that excess wind and buttoning up some road noise. But what I wanted to show you is this cheek pad. Take a look at this, guys. Handmade from Arai. What's beautiful about this, a couple things. First is this pillowcase. If I just pull this guy off real quick, you can see that it makes laundering your pads an absolute breeze. Just throw this guy right into the laundry and you're good to go. Have you ever seen a pad so intricate? No, you have not. Now this is all for riders' customization. You can go ahead and pull any of the black foam that you see here to customize that fit right out of the box. This is your emergency pull tab for the EMTs. This is the retention mechanism for how this pad actually stays in the helmet. But there's another piece here. Arai actually does include speaker cups. Just pull that out. There's your installation area, but keep in mind, this speaker cup is sitting directly over your ear, and the only padding in between that cup and your bare skin is this small piece of fabric. You will feel your speakers. In an Arai, I've done hundreds of installations of comm accessories, and the installation is always a breeze, but I've actually taken Arai's back and removed comm accessories from riders' helmets due to pure discomfort. So I don't really recommend putting a comm accessory in. You can, just keep in mind and be aware that you will feel speaker pressure. Now, if we remove this comfort liner on the top, you'll notice again, all of your EPS is painted black. Again, that's for your protection. Go ahead and do your helmet inspections. Make sure there's no obvious lightning bolts in there or defects. And inside we see our EPS layer. This is a multi-density one-piece EPS liner that is actually hand laid into the shell. Again, only X amount of individuals are allowed to do this in the Arai factory. You actually have to be EPS certified to install this unit in the helmet, and you can have up to 4 different densities in each lid. Arai says up to 4 different densities. I'm guessing that the larger helmets have the additional density. That's purely due to the fact that you have a larger head, more mass, you probably need additional foam. And folks, we absolutely need helmet manufacturers to be pushing boundaries like this, to be making small changes and even large boundary leaps in terms of safety protection and helmet technology. Love it. Now on to performance, guys. This one is an absolute powerhouse. We all know how Arai's perform. They're in MotoGP, they're in F1, they're tried, tested, and true. They're absolute powerhouse in wins. We have incredible ventilation coming from the Corsair X. We have a really nice spoiler in back, adding to stability and decreasing buffeting. Again, back to that ventilation, the ability to button everything up with the active exhaust vents is really nice. The R75 spherical shape. There is just so much to this lid, not to mention how comfortable and quiet they are, making this a true long ride helmet here, and all the way up to those short track rides. There really is everything in between, and a lot of upgrades coming from the Corsair V as well, like increased airflow and kind of dialed in shape to the lid itself. And you know, I really believe Arai is giving the riders the absolute highest level of safety possible within the industry. Very, very important, guys. Truly, I do believe that. Now, is this a naughty go or a naughty no? This is a naughty go, guys. Are you serious? This is one of the best helmets that you can buy today. It is the safest, it is the best performing, and it's pretty damn sexy as well. And I really can't stress enough how important safety focus should be to you as a rider. You only get one life, guys. Please spend it wisely. If it's not Arai, don't buy. If it's not Arai, don't fly. If it's not Arai, don't ride, guys. Folks, thank you so much for stopping by for NottiMoto's review of the Arai Corsair X with the Snell 2020 rating. It has been great. If you liked the video, please like it. If you loved it, please sub. If you got any questions or comments, throw them down below. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, guys. All right, we'll see you in the next one.